Go have fun, connect with people, try to teach them, try to share positivity, and people will come back for more.
Everyone, welcome back to ARTBOX. This is our first episode of 2025, and we decided to take a big leap to the Netherlands. Am I right on that?
Correct there.
And you're an artist, muralist, you're teaching on YouTube, you're doing all kinds of stuff. Ali Serp Art. Is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah, it's a weird name. It's basically like it's my name Priscilla, but backwards, and then with art next to it. It's something I created when I was a kid, and then you kind of stick with it because you keep doing something because for the sake of doing it, and now I'm stuck with the name.
Yeah. I think we had mentioned in one of our conversations that when I first started this whole creative jargon thing, it was originally Civ Art, which is Travis backwards.
Yeah.
And then I turned SIV into Simple Interesting Visions Art. So it was like this whole thing. Eventually I realized like what I wanted to like clean up about my brand. And I thought yours is just cool already. Like yours isn't wordy and it fits your flow. It kind of like represents your art in a way. It's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
Why don't you go ahead and tell tell the audience a little bit about yourself. You can tell it's been a while since I recorded an episode.
Yeah, same for recording anything in general. So we're in the same boat. Yeah, about me, I'm basically my name is Priscilla. I'm 28 years old, and I currently live in the Netherlands. I studied in Canada for a couple years, finished my art school there. I'm a neurodivergent artist. Recently found out like 3 years ago that I have autism, and I'm realizing that that has had a lot of effect on my art style and also the way I do artistic things. And currently, I'm on
Mhm.
like a big journey of exploring my art world and sharing that with everybody.
Fantastic. And it's been great. I think you're covering it really well. Like I said, you teach a little bit in your videos, but you also do like full painting videos. You take on challenges, and I think neurodivergent or not, you're doing really well, and finding out more about yourself can only help you like exceed in those areas and be comfortable.
Exactly. Like you find out like your weaknesses and your strengths, so you can really like work with that more. And I also like it's
Yeah.
nice to explore myself more through my art.
Let's go into your art history a little bit. You said you've uh studied at school for it.
Yes, I had a really bad time in school my whole life, like really bad bullied, so I never really got to learn or do the things I wanted to do. So I dropped out at the age of, I think it was 16, 17, and just kind of like sat and decided like what do I really want to do? I really wanted to go to art school because art is something that I've basically wanted to do my whole life. Like the first conscious thought that I had, I remember I was like 4 years old and I just wanted to draw. I just wanted to continue drawing everywhere. And it's kind of just, it's my life's passion. And it's just, yeah, it's something that keeps me going. And I decided to go to school for that, and in Canada, they accepted me pretty fast, and I was able to learn a lot there, able to grow my artistic style as well. Because when you're young, you don't really know exactly what you want to do. Like, for instance, I was just drawing little characters or drawing anime or just recreating Iron Man or like drawing a portrait of the Joker, stuff like that. You're just practicing
Yeah.
your skills and feeling stuff around and just seeing what you can do. But I knew from a young age that I really wanted to create something that was my own, like my own style. And I slowly started to work towards that and genuinely going to art school, but also the specific art school that I went to really helped. The school that I went to allowed me to be very open and very free, and they really helped me develop my artistic skills and my idea without trying to push me into a specific box. I've had like a bad experience with a
Right.
art school before where I just went to like a test school run. It wasn't like actually going to school there, but for like 3 months straight, every week you go there for a lesson and you see like if you fit with the school. and it was a very the school was very artsy in the way where you would throw rotten tomatoes on the wall, take a photo of that, and that's the type of art that they would want. And they would want nothing else. I'm giving an example of that. So
It
I
sounds
remember,
very media based, high end
yeah,
type stuff,
exactly.
like a
Yeah, it really is like
banana
that.
on the
It
wall,
was
the
like that.
comedian.
Yeah, exactly. And well, I went there because it was just in my town, and I really wanted to try a school when art school when I was younger, and I did the whole course, and it went
Totally.
great. But I wasn't able to do what I wanted, and when I showed them the stuff that I wanted to do, because I already started to develop a little style of like doing stuff with markers and colorful creatures and a little bit like line art style. And they told me that what
Yeah.
I created wasn't art and that I just shouldn't do it. And I remember at the time that really like it broke me, made me sad. But I decided to not give up, and you just keep going. And you need to realize that also, like if you want to go to art school, and you have a bad experience there, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're a bad artist or that like you shouldn't go to art school. It just means you didn't fight the right like school for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm finding with artistic taste and finding where you belong, it can always be a toss up of time and place and who you're
Exactly.
talking to and how you're feeling when you created the piece. Like you may stray into something new. Your style is what's captivated me. I found you before we both submitted into the slew contest, the studio slew contest.
Yeah, that's correct.
And I
Yeah.
think we had also planned this episode before then too.
Yeah.
So we're just now getting to it. Which I guess we can say that here. I'm disappointed you didn't win. Or, our buddy Chuck Lee, he also did it too.
Yeah. I loved his
But
piece as
yeah.
well. And yours as well. So yours was fucking fantastic.
Oh, thank you. He's back there.
Ah, I see him.
Had
Look
to
at
add that to
that.
the wall.
Perfect.
Screaming at me. That'll be what I become if I don't make it as an artist.
Honestly, not a bad thing. That's kind of awesome being able to do that. So,
Thank you. Yeah, I'm pretty lucky. I get to make art all day and hang out with my baby and do videos and stuff. Like I make my income through like a bit of like commissions and like I did videography last year, so I went to like a concert and recorded all their stuff and then turned that into content for them. Like I did voiceovers
that's
on it and
awesome.
stuff. I was like, so I guess I'm doing a little voiceover work. Not the best voice,
Yeah, that's
but
honestly like
uh,
that seems like a nice life to have.
thank you. Uh, it's going pretty well, and it's only getting better. But before I sidetracked us, I was talking about your style and how you ended up there. I don't know. It's very fluid and trippy. People would probably say.
Yes,
But then
psychedelic
I
almost.
also saw your studio slew portrait, and that was realism mixed with that style too. And you're very capable of a lot. And I don't see why they wouldn't have you at those schools.
Oh, thank you. I still think my realism is really bad. Like for instance, I think in the video that I made for the portrait as well, I realized I hadn't done like portraits in like 2 years since that, and that's not good. Like I realized I also I reached a point with my art style where I'm staying stagnant. So I'm now in a journey, especially this year. My goal for this year is really practice the fundamentals again. Like I need to get my anatomy correct. I need to get portraiture better. I need to practice that more. But also stuff like perspective and also maybe trying completely different styles because I really just want to keep evolving my style and keep growing.
I'm glad we hit on that topic because I'm someone who kind of doesn't have a style in a sense. Like if you see my characters, you could tell those are my characters, but I
Yeah.
don't do them enough for you to like tell that that's my characters. Like the space lady on the wall back there, she has the eyes that I typically do and stuff, but like
Yeah.
I get cornered into a lot of like portraits or sometimes I'll zig into fake Pokemon with my buddies and stuff. And that's a certain style where I'm trying to copy like Ken Sugimori. He did the original like Pokemon card art and stuff. So that's why I
Yeah.
brought my lines real thin and started doing it in watercolor. But I switched so often. This year, I'm wanting to hone in on mine as well. Probably hitting up some of those fundamentals and basics to shape it too. But I would like to hone my style too.
Definitely also keep trying like different styles because I'm noticing for myself that that is something that has always helped me develop my own little styles. Just really studying other people's work and seeing what speaks to you the most.
Hmm. That's a good point. Yeah, you kind of get inspiration and then kind of make your own amalgamation of artwork.
Yeah. Like your own interpretation. Like that's the great thing about other artists. You can always get infinitely inspired.
Yeah, yeah. Did your Speaking of like some of your art history, did your parents or anybody do any artwork or music or anything? Were they creatives?
No.
No.
No. No. I used to also, when I was younger, play violin. I still have my violin over there, but like since going to art school, I had to make a decision to not play violin so much because I decided to dedicate like any free time that I have, even any social time,
Yeah.
is spent just creating and doing art. Makes me feel the
I think
most
I've
alive in
I've
a
told
way.
my story. It's a lot like that. I was playing in a band at a festival, but I also ran an art table. And my art it was my first art table,
Oh,
and it was
sick.
down there, and I'm up there playing drums, and I'm like every time I went and sat back down at the art table and stuff, everything was going great. Like, and
Yeah,
I just really enjoyed it. I was like, I think I'd rather be over there. And I didn't realize how much I needed to commit to a thing because so I
exactly.
was all over the place. So I decided at that point I was going to do all art. Mainly, I have a piano and a guitar I pick up all the time, but like that's like hobby work. I'm not actually investing time into it, which I kind of want to do that too. I have so many ambitions. I want to do my style. Want to start incorporating music into my videos and stuff.
You can
Who
do that
knows?
all, man. Just give yourself the time, and you never know what could happen.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Speaking of, I've never done a gallery showing, and you've had a few, haven't you?
Yeah, I had a few under my belt.
Walk us through a gallery showing experience because for me, I don't know, and if any of our audience wants to know, how do you get like a gallery? Did someone
Ooh.
ask you? Did you approach them?
Well, there's many
You
different
or
ways.
whatever you can say.
Okay, well, I have like definitely some things to say about, let's see, I have a little like history list. Because like every gallery is different. You will never have the same experience. It will always be very different
Mm,
and chaotic, and things are kind of whack. And like I'd say the first gallery that I actually had my work shown at was in 2014 when I was younger, and that was because I participated in a competition that's in my country called Kunstbende, and it's a competition for art. So they had specific sections for like music and dance, but also for painting and like creating. If you got accepted, you had to go to like the first what's it called? First round of the competition. There were like 3 rounds to get through, and I got accepted, and you get to show your work there. So honestly, everything was kind of done for you. You have stuff like that where you can get like gallery showings. Just look for competitions. Make sure that also you look safely because sometimes with competitions they're like, oh, if you sell something, we get all the money. So always like make sure you ask and you read everything properly. So you can do galleries through that, but I've also had the luck of getting a gallery through just having connections with people. Like my first official gallery was in Toronto, Canada, and it was because I applied for like a special little art grant at my school, and somebody in the people who decided who were gonna get the art grant saw my work. I didn't get the art grant, but they liked my work so much that they decided to reach out to me and ask me if I was interested in showing my work in a gallery. And you just have to. What I'm realizing is, if you want gallery work, take the leap of faith and just try things. You never know who's going to see your work. You never know who's going to view it and think,
Yeah.
we kind of like that stuff. But you can also, you don't necessarily always have to go to a gallery as well. You can also go to cafes. I also have had my own little solo show in a normal cafe where you can get coffees and little sandwiches in Toronto. Just talk to owners, go up to
Mhm.
people and just talk with them and discuss like, hey, I'd like to show my work here. Can we maybe do something together? Maybe like create a fun little evening together. Art really is like, if you want stuff done, it really is all about creating connections and talking with people. And that's something that I struggle with because I also have autism. So like social stuff is very hard for me, but it is worth it because the art life, it's not for everybody, but it's so interesting and so fun and so unique. So if you really do kind of feel like art is for you, keep trying these things. I also, thankfully, I had some gallery showings through my school as well, because that's part of like going to art school. They also sometimes provide little shows for you. So that's nice. But I
Mhm.
also had one group showing. Actually, I had two group showings. One at a museum here in Netherlands, and one at a gallery that I'm currently still part of the collection of. I basically I reached out long ass time ago to this gallery, just sending an email being like, "Hey,
Mhm.
I want to be part of your collection." Blah blah blah. I didn't hear anything for 2 years,
Yeah.
nothing. So I always just thought like, oh,
Wow.
that's a no. But after 2 years, they reached out to me and asked me to be part of the show and part of the collection. So, going back to my
Wow.
previous point, if you want showings, really just keep a lookout on like Instagram for open calls. Look at cafes, especially cafes that are kind of groovy or hip. Just go up to them and ask,
Mhm.
"Hey, would you guys like some work on the wall?"
Yeah. I
So
like
that is,
there's two good notes in there that I wanted to talk about. The first one was my first assumption when I think of a lot of like galleries or when I see people's gallery videos is that it's not part of I forget that the museums and stuff they'll hold their own shows and it's like a competition where you can enter stuff. And I feel like a lot of videos, not yours, but there was some that I've watched because I've watched a lot of art YouTube this past year
yeah,
where I just thought it was their show and it wasn't. But that's a good point is that you can enter these shows as well to get into that connection. And that's the second point that you brought up was connections with the community. If you want to
yeah,
be in galleries, you kind of have to be around galleries. So, and that applies to all the creative fields I'm seeing. If you want to be like, if you want to make movies, you have to be around people who like to make movies. If you want to
yep.
be around, people who like to work hard and get these creative things done, you have to be around, people who with that work ethic
Same
and
with
like,
music.
it, yeah, yeah, music and everything. Like you have to do the shows, you have to reach out and that reach out to like cafes and local businesses, that's a really good way to do it too. Because I mean, that's where you live, like should be
Exactly.
pretty easy to network. Yeah. But I mean, given everybody's like, you know, skills, I have a hard time sometimes talking to different people around here because I don't know exactly what they envision, like, for their businesses, so I try to bring benefit to them, and sometimes it works out, sometimes there's no reason to really do anything, so but it's good to reach out to them anyways.
Exactly. Because here's the thing, like, if you don't reach out, it's a guarantee no.
You're also pursuing murals now, aren't you?
Yes, it is. It's been quite a journey though, because like thankfully I was able to get this mural opportunity, which is to me was like a once in a lifetime opportunity, especially for somebody who has never done murals before. The gallery that I'm still with, called Beeldend Gesproken, it's in Amsterdam located. They helped me a lot already throughout the years. They helped me get on a podcast, on a talk show. They were able to provide me 2 workshops that I were able to give that just helped me grow more as an artist as well. And they're the ones who provided me the
Hmm.
opportunity to make a mural. And I realized when I was doing it, it took me 26 days in total to make it. I had to go to Amsterdam every day with the bus. And I realized I really love doing mural work, and my type of work translates really well to mural. I don't understand
Oh
how the
yeah.
mural of 8 by 4 meters took me 26 days. But this little guy right here that I'm going to show you later, that I'm currently working on for another show, it's still not finished, and I'm already past 26 days. So it's just funny how like when I work smaller, it takes me longer. When I work bigger, like mural size, it takes me not so long. And yeah, I basically just really fell in love with doing murals, and I've been looking to do more like mural stuff since, but I found out that especially in Amsterdam, where I'm currently living, it's really hard to get murals if you don't have like really close connections with people. Apparently, it's very hard to get murals in
Um,
Netherlands in general. I'd have more luck going to America or even like London, like Britain or Germany, even for that instance.
yeah,
So I'm
because I
just
think you also like, even if you see like a good wall or like a good business for it, it may not fit their taste. Like they're like, well, this isn't
exactly.
really a graffiti area, but
Yeah,
like our
exactly.
town here is actually like everybody's like, sure, go ahead, throw something up on our wall.
Exactly. Like you have to like really find a country for that as well. And I'm noticing it's really hard
Yeah.
to find it here. So I might be in talks with
Okay.
somebody to do a new mural. That's still there's no guarantee for that. So who knows what I might show you guys in the future. But for now, the mural that I have planned is one in my kitchen to celebrate reaching 1,000 subscribers on my channel. And I said I was gonna do this mural a while ago, but then like a bunch of art stuff happened, like being asked to make an artwork for this upcoming show that I'm doing, and I haven't been
Yeah,
able to
art
do it.
and life.
Yeah, life as well on top
Yeah.
of that. So yeah,
Yeah, I
I
think one of the
that's all I have
biggest
planned.
one of the biggest suspensions for us getting this episode in was you were also tackling redoing your kitchen and all kinds of
Oh
stuff like
yeah,
that. So yeah, we I think in one of our recent episodes with Bethany McCarthy, we talk about what it's like to juggle life. Sometimes you have kids, sometimes you're married, and
exactly.
how do you get content creation in at the same time as actual creating. And so I think our audience definitely should know that it's not easy, and you just kind of just have to do it, and it just happens.
You just kind of find the time. Exactly.
Yeah, it finds you.
Yeah, definitely.
Which your current mural is the Amsterdam Milestone project, isn't it? Or the painting is for that, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. It's so basically fun fact, this goes back to our little talk about like reaching out and connecting. I realized the last like years I don't do that much. I'm really like the stereotypical artist who sits in her cave creating art and then like clawing at you if you get too close and then not like making contact with the outside world. I'm really trying to like break out of that. So I decided to like message places on Instagram more, just being like, yo, I'm an artist. I'm looking for a wall to paint. Do you maybe know of a place? And I've been doing that. And one of
Hmm.
these places was it's called, I think it was called Amsterdam Street Art. And they responded very positively. They also told me that it is hard to get murals in a place like Amsterdam. And then afterwards, a couple days after that, they invited me for this upcoming art show that is from the 17th of January until the 22nd of March. And it's specifically a celebration of Amsterdam becoming 750 years old. And so they asked me to like show work, and then I was like,
Wow.
"Yeah, I'm gonna create something specifically for the show." And of course, I had to create something very detailed and big that I need a lot of time for, that I'm now freaking out about because I don't know if I can finish it. I will. I don't know how I will, but yeah. So it's really exciting. I'm really glad that I reached out and actually tried to connect with people, because look at that. You never know what can happen from
Mhm.
that. And so I'm currently really just, even like before this call, what I was doing was painting. And after this call, what I'm going to be doing is just painting until like past midnight again. Wake up, paint, sleep, wake up, paint, sleep. That's especially this upcoming week, that's what it's going to look like.
Yeah, I think we were both painting last night, talking about organizing this
Yeah.
setup, and that's what I'll be doing with these. Is I just finished 6 outlines on 6 paintings, which I realized was a lot more. It's ambitious. We're too ambitious.
Yeah, exactly. But that's it's good to be like that. It makes life more fun.
Yeah, I was like, well, what would make my thrift art video better? One thrift art or 6? I said, let's just do all
Let's do
6, knock them all
6,
out.
yeah. But 6 is a nice
Yeah.
number. I get you though. Like I understand why you would pick
Mm.
6.
Yeah, more visuals, more footage, better video,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Well, that's really exciting. I've never, like, I was about to say, I wish I could do something like that, like important around here, put my name in there, I helped out. But like the thing is, I haven't reached out. So that's the thing. That's the lesson in this episode, man. Reach out
You reach out
and
and
just try
try to
things.
make that your goal this year. Reach out more. And here's also another thing that I'm trying to teach myself a lot. I always think I am not worthy enough to like be in certain shows or answer certain open calls. Literally throw that out the window,
Mm.
because you don't know what people like. So keep applying,
Hmm.
keep trying things, and let's see where that takes you.
Definitely. Um, Speaking of, I've tried a few of these workshops in the past year or so. I tried offering my services to people, like to teach them things.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty neat experience. I learned to how to teach someone, you know what I mean? You learn that yourself.
Yeah,
You're like,
that's also a skill.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, if especially if you haven't done it, you're like, well, where do I start? And how am I going to say this to where it can be general advice that they would understand,
Yeah.
that anybody could understand, you know what I mean? So, you've done a lot more impressive ways than I have. I went to people's homes and, like, taught them how to paint, like, in their kitchen, and then people hit me up for stuff. It was pretty cool. I brought my camera, but I was, like, too nervous to set it up and ask them,
I
like,
totally
put them
get you.
on film. Yeah, and I suppose I would have been more confident if I knew what the footage was for at the time. I'm a much better filmmaker and video maker now, but you learn those things, through doing them, like, as much as possible. Uh,
Exactly.
can
Yeah.
you give us a few tips on teaching workshops?
Oof. Well, I've done, I think, yeah, I've done 3 in total now in my life, and they
3?
all were about fabric painting. And I just basically picked that because,
Mm,
first of all, you want to do a workshop about something you're really like comfortable with. Don't pick something that you also have trouble with doing. Pick something that you know you're comfortable with and you can basically do with your eyes closed. So I picked fabric painting
yeah.
to like create like nice t-shirts for people and show them how to like prepare that and paint it and how to process it so that you can then wash it and wear it. And it was a
Mhm.
really fun and interesting experience because you see how people kind of, every person is so insecure and you kind of have to teach that out of them as well, because they're like, oh no, I'm scared this is not going to look good and this is not going to look good. You have to make sure that the
Yeah.
workshop is there to teach people, but it's also there for them to have fun and relax. So I think that's really important for teaching with workshops. Also have a good time. Don't put too much pressure on yourself, because if something goes wrong, which it always will, something always goes wrong, don't think it's going to be such a like bad mistake or such a problem for people. People will forget that. Just go have fun, connect with people, try to teach them, try to share positivity, and people will come back for more.
Yeah, totally. That's very good advice. Setting a nice environment with Like an attitude like that would make it very comfortable to be able to pick up the knowledge that you're learning or, that
Exactly.
the teacher's giving and be able to apply it and not be afraid to try like weird things. I think whenever I teach somebody or like a skateboard trick when we're skating together or something, I can see where their nervous shakes come in different places and you have to just be like, yeah, don't even worry about that. That's all in your head. So
Exactly.
that's a good way to yeah, it's a good way to break that mold.
Yeah, it
Um,
opens people up to like
which we've
actually
talked
like learn things.
yeah, yeah, to be able to receive the knowledge. Um, we've talked about style a little bit already, and we kind of talked about how we both kind of came across ours, a lot of influence and stuff like that. Um, what about your character selection? Like how do you go about picking what's going to be on your canvases? Because you have, I've definitely seen some fish, and I've definitely seen some monsters,
Yeah.
creatures rather.
Yeah.
How do you pick? You know what I mean? What do you like?
Well, the way I create art is going to sound maybe very weird, but I'm someone I consider myself like an endless pool of ideas. My problem is I don't have enough time to execute all my ideas. But basically, I listen to my intuition. I will grab a canvas, or for instance, the Amsterdam show, like with this one right here. I'll probably
Uh-huh.
show a little bit more of this later. Like I'll take it off the easel. But yeah, with this one, I instantly like the moment I got asked Amsterdam, 750 years. I already got an idea in my head of making like a house, a traditional Dutch house, like an
Mm-hmm.
Amsterdam house, but make it kind of like a monster. That was the initial response that my intuition gave me. And that's kind of how I do my work. I always just, when I grab a canvas and I want to create art, I just listen to like, what do I want to do? And then I get like an idea of like, oh, I want to create
Mm-hmm.
an apple. Oh, but I actually want the apple to be a monster that turns into a snake. And then I just kind of work from that. And the thing about my creations is
And I
I
also
will,
saw you insert windows in a way. I think I made a comment about that. Like
yeah,
slap some windows on there. That gives the like item depth in a weird way and a personality. Like
yeah.
it's very cool the way you pick your stuff.
Yeah, I realized, like, for instance,
I
the
didn't know if it was
windows.
like shapes that you were basing it out of or not, but like because it was so fluid, I didn't know if that's where you started or.
Yeah, it's more like just random ideas in my head that I then mash together. And like it's often also just ideas stemming from emotions that I'm feeling or like experiences that I had. Like a lot of my work also has to do with trauma or dealing with the world around me. For instance, the windows
Mhm.
that I create in my creatures, I do that a lot more in the recent years, and I realize it's been happening. Like I've been doing that more since my dad passed away, and I kind of also just like my dad passed away, and I lost my childhood home that I basically grew up in. So I think through that, I decided to create little like windows and houses into creatures to kind of feel comfort and safe. I kind of have that like childhood home
Mhm.
like feeling that I'm missing. So I keep like putting that into my work to have a sense of comfort and safety.
That's a really good answer for a lot of ways where you can get these inspirations. And sorry about your father passed away.
Yeah, it's just it's
My
life
stepfather
stuff.
just passed. Yeah, it is. And we all grieve in different ways. My
Definitely.
stepfather passed away about a year ago, and I have a video coming out in one day. This episode will be out way after that, but I did a video where I make a sandwich on my art table, and it's for my stepdad. And
Oh, that's so sweet.
we all grieve in different ways. Yeah, and create us as creatives, you
Exactly. But
know,
this is such
doing
a
something
healthy
weird with
way.
it.
Yeah, but this is much better than smoking meth under a bridge.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd rather make my bologna sandwich and
Exactly.
paint
I'd rather
windows
keep
for sure.
painting. Yeah.
It's good for you. Um, and that's our next topic is the subject matter basically is uh I guess how you feel in the moment kind of determines what your subject matter of the piece would be or your project. And
Yeah,
I
definitely.
think maybe sometimes the project stems from how I'm feeling.
Yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure which one strikes first, the inspiration or the want to do a piece. Because you can sit out down to do a piece without knowing what you're gonna do,
Yeah.
but you can also sit down with inspiration, but not knowing what you're gonna do. It's weird.
It's so weird,
Subject
right?
matter of your
Yeah.
piece. Yeah, like, the portrait I did of me was just, like, an ode to my love for the Evil Dead, like, franchise, and,
Yeah.
um, I have another painting from my first video on YouTube, my first official YouTube video, where it says, "Life is one big teehee, and then you die," and that was actually the painting I made when my stepfather passed, and I guess I just had some deep thoughts in mind, and I can't help but make it a little comedy. So, life is
I
one big
love that
teehee, and
though.
then you die.
Because it's true. It really is.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. It really is.
Simple. Yeah. That's
But
how
it's
I
such a
like
good
it,
way to
simple.
process emotions and experiences. Like art, you can also end up really helping someone else with that as well. You never know how your art will impact someone.
Yeah. That's what I wanna talk about next is mental health and creativity, because there's a lot of overlap, like we've said. This episode's kind of, if you haven't realized, a good bit about that. That's a lot of what your art
Definitely.
subject matter is. Yeah. And, like, it can be very therapeutic, it can be very healthy for you, and you can express yourself in many different ways, whether you're grieving or happy or just having a silly time. Um, what are some things that you would like to say about mental health and creativity?
I think it's definitely something that needs to be pushed more onto people. I feel like people are kind of losing touch with doing creative things. Everything is now also like you have to be on your phone and this and that. Like we're kind of losing
Mhm.
craft work. I think it's so
Mhm.
important for many more people to do art and really just kind of let go and kind of explore your own like inner art world. I think that can do so much more wonders for your head as well. Like you'll be able to process things in different ways. You'll be able to express things in different ways as well in like a painting or a sculpture or any other way of like doing art. Mental health
Mhm.
is, you also have to think mental health really sucks, but damn, can it make some really good art? It can, you can create some
Yeah. Yeah, it
really,
can come from some.
you can get some really shitty things from life, like traumatic experiences or PTSD or personality disorders. But you can express that and share that sentiment and share your feelings with the world, and you're able to connect with people in a way that you might not be able to before. So I think it's just it's so beneficial for everyone around you.
Yeah. And I think you made a really good point, about people, like, even if you don't if you're not aware of any underlying, like, diagnosis or something like that, there's just, let's say, normal people out there, whatever that is,
Yeah.
out there every day who don't create at all. They don't think about it. They forgot, it's
Yeah.
like, well, I gotta pay the bills and I gotta, you know, feed the dog and like, when would I ever have time to draw something? Why would I draw something? Sometimes, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Some people don't think they're supposed to draw. Like, where does that, where do we lose that, you know?
No, exactly. Same. Like we as humans, we're meant to draw, paint, make food, and make music. Like each and every one of us. I
Yeah.
genuinely believe there's a musician in every human and there's an artist in every human.
Yeah. I got to touch on this a little bit in my last AMA video, but I think, like, creativity, all those aspects that you just mentioned are an underlying like aspect of the DNA. That's the standard.
Definitely. Yeah.
That yeah. And like you're born with that, and then you get told a lot of different things, and a lot of stuff gets filtered out like the older you get
Exactly.
or who you're around.
No, like
And
100%. Like, look at how
and
kids behave, like young
yeah.
kids before like they go to school and they get like all these ideas put in their head. They always create, whether with mud, drawing, food, anything, they always try to create. Like it is, like you said, it's in our nature.
Play-Doh. It's my favorite. Yeah, Play-Doh, Legos, get that stuff out, man, and start playing around with it, and
Exactly.
you're you're gonna feel some neural receptors going off. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, but yeah, I think yeah, you made some good points on mental health and creativity. It like a lot of your art, like we've said, shows some of the even if people didn't know, it does show some of the grieving process and some of the more in-depth emotions from like humans. And
Exactly.
uh you could yeah, you can see it in your art, and I think you can see like I think you can see the um benefits for you. Like I can tell it's doing good for you. Like this is good for you. And you're
Yeah,
good at it.
definitely.
So
Thank you. Yeah, I noticed, like, for instance, when you look at my creatures as well, you'll see my creatures always have wounds and, like, band aids or, like, bandages wrapped around them. And I'm
yeah.
realizing, like, I combine, like, cute stuff, cute and, like, childlike things with grotesque and kind of, like, fucked up things. Because that's also how I kind of see life, you know? You
Yeah.
also, we as humans, we all experience pretty awful things, each and every one of us, but we also get to experience this like
Mhm.
beautiful part of it. And that's what I try to focus on and really show that despite your wounds and despite the shit that happened to you, you could still like be here and like have a good time.
Yeah. I think juxtaposition like that creates some of the best art, really.
Yeah,
Which um since we're talking about art, let's talk about your art videos. What got you into like doing YouTube? What made you take that leap from doing paintings for, yourself and, soothing to actually showing it to people? Because that's, big difference. We
definitely.
we all know a lot of people drawing who aren't putting it on video and talking and stuff. And so what made you make that leap?
Well, for me, like I did when I moved to Canada for school, I think I made 2 videos just for fun, and then I stopped and I did school and life happened and other shit. And then yeah, in like the recent, I think 2 years now, maybe three, I don't remember. My
Couple for sure.
yeah, I think definitely 2 years now. I wanted to record my process because specifically after my dad passed away, which was in 2020. I remember I like reached a point in my life where like that was the final drop in the bucket of like, okay, I'm now done. Like I'm done with everything. I'm not gonna do art. I'm not gonna do anything. And I started to
Mm.
stream. I was like, no, I have to keep doing art. That's the one thing that keeps me alive. Without that, like, it's not gonna go well.
Okay.
And so I started to
So you
stream on
started
Twitch.
streaming.
Yeah, yeah. I actually was streaming on Twitch, not on YouTube first. And on Twitch, I was able to meet a really good
Oh,
friend of mine who's still in my life now. She's really nice. And she kind of helped push me and keep making like art. And I kept doing that. I've been not streaming anymore for like over a year now because I really started to get into YouTube because I'm realizing I really love making YouTube videos. I think being able to share your craft and how you create something is so nice and so beneficial for
mhm.
not just yourself but everybody watching. I also like realized life is so short. I want to be able to share my craft and how I do things with other people because you never know what can happen. You never know if you're not going to be here tomorrow. And at least
Yeah.
what I would want to do is be able to hopefully inspire someone else to continue what I'm doing or doing their own version. So I just yeah,
Mm.
I started to really focus on YouTube because it's really fun and YouTube is also something I really recommend to a lot of artists because it's actually so good for your like social presence. While I was doing YouTube, I've been barely posting on Instagram. I've not been doing like anything. And despite that, I still have been getting followers on both. And that's because of the YouTube. A lot of YouTube gives you just a lot of like a lot more eyes on you and a lot closer connection with
Yeah.
people. So I really recommend like if you're an artist and you're even thinking about doing it, just try it. Just try it because you don't know if you like
Yeah.
it. You don't know what it might lead to. And for me, it just led to well, finally, like I got in contact with Chuck Lee. He actually also reached out to me.
Yeah.
He like really motivated me. Super positive person, like fucking great guy to talk to. And he also like invited me to
Yeah.
be like part of this collaboration with a bunch of other YouTubers. And it's so nice to also have that connection and now feel like you're not so alone. And it's nice that YouTube can provide that. So it really like more artists should do it because it's so beneficial in a lot of ways. And yes, of course, it's stressful making videos, and
Yeah.
you sometimes do put pressure on yourself. I really try not to. I'm trying to keep the mindset of like, if I can't make a video, if I put too much pressure on it, it's not going to be fun for me, and people are going to be able to see that and feel that in the video. Just make whatever you can and have fun with it.
Totally. I learned a lot about my art and myself by holding that like that magnifying glass to it by filming it and editing it
Yeah.
and listening to myself and being like, and then asking myself questions about my art that I never had to ask, like, what's the story here? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't usually create like that. And now it's like I've learned to create in different ways. Like I said, I'm making a video about a sandwich and it's pretty artsy if I do say
Yeah.
so myself.
Man, I'm getting hungry
And
already.
yeah, making the videos. Yeah, making the videos is an art form in itself for sure. You know,
Definitely.
a lot
Yeah.
of the film, a lot of like pretentious film community wouldn't consider a lot of it like very important, but like we both know Gox is amazing.
Oh, yeah.
He's been sponsored and done interviews with Sony and all that. Like, YouTube is a very valid place to be, and it has a lot of benefits. Whether it's social media or within yourself, you're gonna find a lot of things out. So it's worth
Exactly.
trying. And I'm glad you did because that's
Now
how
we're
I
here.
found you, man.
Exactly.
And yeah, Chuck Lee, and that's kind of I'm glad you like what I'm doing with this show because that's what it is me trying to put the spotlight on other people, even though I don't have like a big platform or anything. But if you're down, we can have awesome conversations about art, and you don't really
Exactly.
get that opportunity a lot of times.
And you should
Yeah,
definitely keep doing it because,
and
like,
you
you never
can.
know who you're going to get on the podcast. And you never know, like, how big this is going to grow. Because, like, the idea is there. I love it. Like, you're a good host as well. So just keep doing it.
This is it's my first, but I'm figuring it out. Thank you. We're definitely we definitely got a full year ahead of us. I have the next guest, I guess a little glimpse, little sneak peek will be Kyle McCarthy. He's coming back, and we're going to
Nice.
talk about fictional creation, like we're going to talk about like fictional production,
Yeah.
like actually like making movies and stuff like that, like our stories, and rather than showing your life. But like what me and you do a lot of is like a lot of showing our life, and so does Kyle. That's what he does a lot of. But like we just kind of want to talk about some of those ambitions. So everybody look forward to that. That should be out next month. Um, which I'm meeting all kinds of people from just being online. I met him from Instagram though, but he's coming to YouTube as well to do. He already has a lot of stuff on YouTube, but he's
Yeah.
really diving in. I think in a business sense, the creator like market, the creator economy is supposed to reach trillions of dollars if it's about the money for you, but it's a very valid place to put your work and do work. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I don't blame him for wanting to transition and cover a lot of stuff. He's wanting to do big film stuff. Um, I'm wanting to do my art videos better and better every time I can, And I'm always learning stuff. I have not stopped learning since I've started. Every video, every project has been something different.
Do you also have where like
I look forward to doing a lot.
you finish a video and you're like, oh no, this doesn't look good, and I should have done this, and I should have done this better. Is that also something that you notice you deal with?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm big on editing, so I'll be in the edit just listening to how stupid I sound, or I should have included some B-roll or got some other shots. You can never go back to get some stuff. Some stuff you can, double back and cheat, like a paintbrush that doesn't have any actual paint on it, and
Exactly.
actually like
Yeah.
getting the shot of you painting. There's no paint on the brush, folks. It's all smoke and mirrors. On the topic of YouTube videos, one of the things I was very surprised, because like obviously I stuck to the end of your video. Um, I don't know how many I watched before I noticed it, but we have almost the same exact sign off for our videos,
Yeah, you
which I
mentioned
also
that.
use for the show.
We have a lot of
Yeah, I was
similarities, we
listening
noticed.
oh yeah, I actually used to love doing doodle like sketches where it's very fluid. And
Yeah.
so I got a lot of those from back in the day. Maybe I'll pop one of
Maybe
those
try
images in here
that.
in the episode.
You also maybe should try doing that
I
stuff
have
again.
been. I was watching some Gox videos and I was like, I think I want to try doodle work again.
Oh, hell
Like,
yeah.
and now I have character styles with like the eyeballs that I use and facial expressions and stuff. So now I can apply that to the doodles. I'll try it out sometime, for sure.
Exactly. You never know what you might create.
But I was very surprised to see you say stay creative. And then mine is actually a riff off of the Warner Brothers thing. That's all, folks.
That's all, folks.
I don't know if
Yeah.
anybody ever caught that. I say stay creative, folks. And
That's
that's my
awesome.
bloop. Put me in a little Looney Tune thing.
Yeah,
and
the
edit.
little
We'll see if I can get
round
that
thing. Peace out.
done. After that, I was just like, I gotta message her and see if like we can do something. Maybe we can get her on an episode. And we got that done. And
We're
if
here.
we're lucky, maybe we'll sneak peek for the folks here. We're also going to try to do a couple collabs this year.
Oh
If it's
yeah.
not this
Very
year, just
exciting.
throughout our career, Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, we got some ideas, some straight up collabs, and then I got some series for other artists written out. So stay tuned to the Creative Jargon channel, and stay tuned to anything Ali Serp Art has. Which do you have any upcoming projects that we should look forward to?
Ooh. I I have a vlog filmed for my very recent art show that I done, like the 3-day art show. I'm filming this bad boy, the creation of this painting
You
over
can give
here.
us a peek of that if you want. Yeah. Oh
Let's
wow.
see. So it's not done yet,
Oh my lord.
but as you can see, I always
There's
do
a lot.
like before the line art, I do all like basic colors and all the shading, and then when I'm done with that, that's when I add line art on top of it, and it really just kind of transforms the piece and makes it different. And I now have, let's see, after today, I have 5 days to finish this.
Whew.
I don't know how I'm
Yeah,
gonna
it's
do
gonna
it.
take the 5 days, huh?
Yep, and like the funny part was
What's
I thought I had a day extra for it, but then I got to hear from like
oh.
the creator, the owner of the show, that I have a day less.
Mm.
So I like when things get a little bit more spicy, I guess.
What's that called? Is it called Parkinson's law, where a project or work will expand the time given, like to fit this time given?
Yeah.
Like you'll put off the work until like last minute and then it'll be done.
Yep.
It's like, well, it took that time because you gave yourself that window. So like sometimes if you give yourself like small windows, it's like it has to be done that day.
Yeah. It like switches like your
I don't know,
mindset.
I guess it's yeah, it's part of that brain thing we've been talking about.
Oh yeah. So yeah, that's what a
Well,
video that's coming up that I'm going to be posting. Then also there should be a vlog for this art show, but that one is coming in March because there's going to be a big like party at the end, celebration, so that's going to be fun to film. And the biggest thing for my
Mhm.
YouTube is to do a mural. So I have a little like celebration mural planned that I'm just going to do in
Right.
my kitchen because no one can tell me not to paint on my walls. So that's in the
Nice. Yeah.
works. Hopefully, I can start that once I'm done with this one. And then that should be a video in hopefully the upcoming month, 2 months.
If anybody's in the area too, they can go visit the that showing, right? The celebration.
Yes,
You
yeah.
said it's gonna be till March?
Yeah, from the
Yeah.
17th of
So
January to like 22nd of March. So a long time as well.
well, I know you have some of those details on your social medias, and I'll have those posted down in the description below.
Thank you.
I look forward to all those videos. Those sound awesome. I enjoy a good vlog too, to be able to just chill. Those are what I like to watch in the morning when I see I think Baystart, he does a lot of vlogs. I'll just turn that on and like
With a nice cup
it's
of
nice to just
coffee.
use some chills. Chill.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, with the chill music and the art going, listen
Like
to your
it's
thoughts, see how it's
inspirational as
going,
well.
bounce. Yeah, it is actually. Yeah, it makes me reflect on my day too.
Yeah.
Well, please let the audience know where they can find you, what social medias you want them to go to.
You can find me on Instagram, which is just my art name, Priscilla backwards, so Aliserp Art. You can also just type in Priscilla Koopman. That's my actual name. You should be able to find me through there as well. You can find me on YouTube, on Instagram, and honestly, those are the two things I use the most.
Well, you heard her, folks. Go follow those and look forward to the videos and stay creative.
Bye bye.